Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 398 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin believes that Ukraine has a very good chance at launching a successful counteroffensive in the spring of 2023, reports European Pravda. His assessment is based on significant depletion of Russian forces and Western weapons Ukraine received recently. Austin said that Ukraine currently has a significant advantage over Russian forces, although the front line has been shifting back and forth lately and there are currently quite serious battles in the Bakhmut area. The defense secretary stressed that the Ukrainians have depleted Russian armored vehicles in a way that no one could have ever imagined. He added that in view of this, Russia's resources are running out. It is increasingly facing a shortage of artillery ammunition and other things, and is forced to turn to Iran and North Korea for help. Austin said that currently Ukraine needs air defense, long-range weapons and armored vehicles the most, and the F-16 at this stage of the war will not help the Ukrainians. According to him, if the decision on F-16 fighter jets is made, it will take approximately 18 months to provide these capabilities. But this will not help the Ukrainians at this stage of the war. Commander of the ground forces Alexander Syrsky informed that the main task of the Ukrainian troops in Bakhmut is to deplete the superior enemy forces, which will create the necessary conditions for the liberation of Ukrainian territory, reports Radio Liberty. Syrsky noted that the defense forces are holding the Bakhmut fortress despite various deadlines and forecasts and inflicting heavy losses on the enemy. We would really appreciate if you could rate us in the apps where you are listening to this podcast, ideally with 5 stars, and leave a glowing review. This way more people would learn about the highlights from Ukraine and truth about Russia's invasion. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky visited the border region of Sumy in the northeastern part of Ukraine, close to Russia, reports Interfax Ukraine. The region witnessed fierce battles last spring, but was liberated. In particular, the president visited the cities of Ochtyrka and Trostyanets to take part in the events on the occasion of the anniversary of their heroic defense. He stressed that Ukraine will never forgive the crimes committed by Russia on Ukrainian soil. Zelensky honored Ochtyrka with the Hero City Award for the courage of its residents, which allowed it not to be captured by the Russian troops. The president stressed that the city helped to save eastern and central Ukraine with its resistance. In Trostyanets, Zelensky checked the reconstruction project of the local railway station and the station square. During a working trip to Sumy Oblast, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky checked the fulfillment of tasks by units of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine. It was noted that Russia has intensified the shelling of the Ukrainian border area from its territory. In Sumy, Zelensky held a meeting on reinforcement and protection of the state border and the security situation in the Sumy region. Ukraine received 3 Leopard 2 A6 tanks from Portugal, reports LBUA. The Portuguese Defense Ministry informed that the promised tanks are already in Ukraine. Lisbon pledged to continue to support the Ukrainian resistance to Russia's illegal invasion. Earlier, Ukraine received 18 Leopard 2 tanks of A6 modification from Germany and Challenger 2 tanks from the UK. France plans to double the number of 155mm artillery projectiles delivered to Ukraine and very soon will deliver the promised SAMP-T air defense system, reports Militarny. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu said in an interview with Le Figaro that Paris will supply the ground equipment necessary for the Ukrainian counteroffensive and plans to boost up the supply of artillery shells to 2,000 per month from the end of March. According to the publication, Nexter, which produces artillery shells in France, plans to produce 150,000 shells per year in 2025, which is 3 times more than before the start of the Russian war. Earlier it was reported that currently Ukraine uses up to 5,000 artillery shells per day. Foreign Minister of Ukraine Dmytro Kuleba called on the international community to join the implementation of the Ukrainian peace formula and reiterated that Ukraine would accept peace only if it guaranteed the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from the country's territory, reports Liga. Speaking online at the Summit for Democracy 2023 on Tuesday, Klimbe apologized on behalf of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who was unable to join the summit due to visit to country's frontline areas. The minister said that while Russia seeks to destroy Ukraine, its aggression is not limited to Ukraine, but is also aimed against the world order based on international law and the UN Charter. Klimbe stressed that no other nation wants peace more than Ukraine, but peace at any cost is an illusion. I would like to emphasize that the Ukrainian people will accept peace only if it guarantees the complete ending of Russian aggression, the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from the territory of Ukraine, and the restoration of the territorial integrity of our state within internationally recognized borders, said the foreign minister. He also emphasized that Russia must pay for all the damage caused, in particular all those involved in the killings of Ukrainians. Not only the top military leadership of Russia must be held accountable. Russian social media channels released a video where an unknown person in a Ukrainian uniform allegedly shoots at a civilian car with a woman and a child in it, reports Interfax Ukraine. Ukraine's defense intelligence informed that this is a primitive Russist fake. The intelligence service stressed that a number of factors indicate the staging of the video. In particular, the location of the incident is the occupied territory between cities of Donetsk and Makiyivka. One of the sources of the video is a pro-Russian person known as Yuri Alexeyevich ZV. The Ukrainian military put solid crosses on their vehicles, and car in the video has Wehrmacht crosses on it from World War II. The video was filmed using a register, which are prohibited in Ukraine at the moment. There are also other elements that show that the video is fake. Minister of Culture and Information Policy Alexander Tkachenko said that about 300 cultural institutions of Ukraine received assistance from international partners, reports Ukrinform. He underlined the role of UNESCO in this work and said that aid came in various forms, equipment, materials, etc. The Highlights from Ukraine podcast is an uncommercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon following the link in the description. With your help, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.